it's me, Mr. Will, and it's been a while since I've actually made a book video actually. I did make that Halo video, but anyways, I just want to get into this. So, this is the top 5 scenes of the Shadow Reborn, or the Dragon. I got the Shadow Rising and the Dragon Reborn just confused for a second, but top 5 scenes from the Shadow Rising. This is probably one of my favorite books of all time. If yeah, it's one of my favorite books of all time. Probably on my top 10. I was thinking, oh, I won't like it that much because it's so hyped. But then I thought, oh, it's overhyped. But after reading it, it gets the hype it deserves. So first of all, let's get into this, I guess. So for the fifth best scene in this series, in this book, we have the White Tower falling to Elida, and that's probably one of my favorite moments in the entire. Or, well, I just want to say, I guess, yeah, it's a good moment. It's just that whole part. It really irritates me that Siwan Sanche got stilled because I really liked her. She's such a good character, and I think she became an even better character after getting stilled because now she has some sort of big motivation for her. So I'm just really excited to see where that goes. It's pretty exciting. I really like her now. I liked her then and I like her now. And by the way, Min has become one of my favorite characters in this series. Definitely on top 5. Not sure about top. She might be in the top 10 actually, but she's definitely in the top 10 area. She's just such a good character, and I really like her. But yeah, that whole sequence at the end, because I'm glad it's not the Sanchan doing it, but I really like this part, and can't wait to see where that goes in the Fires of Heaven and future books. Anyways, so then the next one is actually for number 4 is Matt in the doorways. Now, this is more specifically the snake people in Tyr when he goes through the doorway there. The fox part was good too when he goes into the fox people land. And I really like that we later get some of an explanation of what those people were, which is snakes and foxes, some game that people play or something. But I really like those 2 parts. I'm going to include them in one scene for snakes and foxes, but just there's such a mood to these scenes, and we get some heavy foreshadow for later with the daughter of the 9 moons and stuff, who I suspect is Sanchan because it was mentioned in there. So I already talked about that in Shadow Rising review, but yeah, I think she's a Sanchan queen or something. Anyways, this that scene, there's just such a mood to it and such an creepy vibes that you get off of it, I guess, and it's a pretty good scene. For number 3, we have Perrin from Perrin returning home. Basically, I mean, this is Perrin's plot line is probably the best plot line in the book. I mean, maybe Rand's is a bit better, but Perrin has a pretty good plot line in this book, where he goes home and stuff. Fail, by the way, is one of my favorite characters. I really like her. I originally I really didn't like her, but then she has gone up in my view. There's a scene where, and by the way, this is all spoilers if you didn't know that already. Sorry if I spoiled you guys. But that Fail has become one of the best characters because she's like, I don't know, I just really like her. She, it happened in the scene that I started liking her in is the part where Perrin learns that his family died or something, and that was it was like shocking. I was like, wow, poor Perrin. And when Fail comforts him, basically, as soon as that happened, I started liking her. I mean, I didn't like her at all when she tricked Loyal into taking her to the ways. I didn't like that at all, but after that, I was like, wow, you know, I mean, she's flawed like everybody in this series, but that's what I like, and I think she's a really good character, even if she's annoying at times. But she's good. I like her. But yeah, the part that I want to say is the part where they're coming home from the Tinkers' houses. They're coming back to the Two Rivers, and then they start singing a song. I think that's one of the most just an amazing, just absolutely amazing moment because it's like they're singing this song and that's all they have left really. I mean, they have all they have left is the Two Rivers and their family and everything, and that's all they have left to hold on to. So and it's just they're singing, and it's really impactful and meaningful when they're singing, and they're that's all they have left, and it's just a really great moment where they all they have left to hold on to is the Two Rivers, and they're just singing because that's all they have to do. That's all they have left to do. Just sing for the moment and stuff. Yeah, that was a really good scene where just everybody starts singing, and it's good. The next scene for number two is Kaladin saying he's the Dragon Reborn. This scene was something I did not necessarily expect, even though I should have maybe. But Kaladin had always been throughout the book already this this guy, and who's kind of annoying. I mean, no, he's not necessarily annoying. It's understandable his frustrations, but I did not expect that. That basically, I think one of the Forsaken put the tattoos on his arms, and it was just a moment where it's like, wow, like he's like now there's this tension because he's saying what the IU want to hear, that they were always warriors, that he's gonna lead them into the Westlands or whatever, or the wetlands, and take it back or take it over. He's telling the Aiel what they want to hear, and it's like how is Rand gonna? All Rand has to say is stuff the Aiel don't want to hear about how they're gonna basically get destroyed, how they were peace, how they were pacifists originally, and all that stuff. And he's telling them what they don't want to hear, and Kaladin is telling them what they want to hear, and it's a very like some Aiel will follow Rand, but some will want to follow Kaladin because it's what they want to hear is what Kaladin is saying what they want to hear, and you don't. And now it's like only the Aiel that know. It's a good moment, and yeah, and I'm excited to see where that goes in the fifth book and sixth book and so on. For the best moment I think in the entire series so far is the scene where Rand is in Rudion. That's one of the best sequences I've ever read. Maybe in book history. No, not in all book history, but in this series, that's the best thing I've ever read ever. It's 3 chapters, almost like 60 pages at least, of flashbacks into past people in the past. Um, we see so many perspectives going back and back in time to like 3,000 years into the past. I don't know, 3,000 years? I think so. Because that's when the breaking of the world happened 3,000 years ago. So it's even before the breaking of the world. But that whole part where we see all these different perspectives of and how the Aiel culture changed over time, where we first see, I think, oh yeah, and it goes backwards also. And I think the part where we see one guy, where we see one guy who is who when they meet with the Aes Sedai who are basically reclaiming some objects, or I think they're building Rudion, putting all the Terangriel and Sangreal in there. There's the Jedi Eel and stuff. And then we go to another one where there's a guy. Um, there's a guy who is meets somebody that abandoned the Jedi Eel who are pacifists, and it goes back and back, and I just love that. There was one part where he makes um, there's a part where actually the best part is where we see the Aiel some Aiel breaking off into the traveling people, and that was just like wow, the traveling people are Aiel a long time ago, and that's a really great moment. The we see the traveling people Aiel are the Aiel who the traveling people Aiel are people. The song that they're looking for is a song that was in the Age of Legends that Aiel and Ogier sing for trees to grow, basically, and that's was something that was really interesting to see. But the Gen Aiel or the traveling people are that was a great moment where we saw them break off into those people. And same with when we see the Aiel break off into warriors, and when we see the Aiel break off into the okay, the best part I think of this whole sequence is when the Aiel this Aiel were called the Dischain Aiel, and we see them in before the or during the Age of Legends when the Dark One broke free of his prison. That was just it was crazy to see that, and it's really awing, I guess, to see the Aiel or the Age of Legends where because up to here it's kind of a pre-industrial time era, and we see this era where it's kind of like sci-fi, where there's big sci-fi buildings, there's helicopters and planes and stuff that are powered by the one power, um, and stuff like that. And it's really crazy. It's really amazing to see that. Same with when we see during the War of the Shadow itself, and we see the reaction people have when they find out about how the Dark One has been sealed, and they're like, "Wow!" And that's a really great moment because it's sad because you see these people and they're all happy and they're like, "Yeah, we saved," or like we see these people and they're like all happy and they're like, "Yeah, the war is over and we can go back to peace," and then they're sad because they have no idea what's coming with the breaking of the world. And then the breaking of the world part was also amazing, and that whole sequence is just phenomenal. And that's about it. It's hard to make this list because there's just so many good moments in this book, and it's an amazing book. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your 5 favorite scenes are, because those are mine. And thanks for watching. Have a good day, and bye.